Surprise, surprise, we're back. The NXT team is 100%. I forgot what he said. We're going to talk about NXT, all of the stuff that we missed, and all of the stuff that happened this week, because we got TakeOver coming up, and it starts right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, we're terrified because somebody made it.
Yep.
We're back. All of us.
Holy smokes.
It's been a real busy couple of weeks.
I know.
I saw that promo.
I know there wasn't a show the last 2 weeks.
So, in reference to that, thank you to everybody for bearing with us the past couple of weeks. Last week, you're going to hear me cough this week, but I was having coughing fits and wasn't able to talk for longer than, I don't know, 20 seconds at a time, and it was bad. So I really appreciate that. We had respective fields of employ the past couple of weeks as well, which kept us from doing the show, but we're working on a way to be more consistent with the show because we love doing it. We love being together as the NXT team, as this group. I love my boys.
Things might have to change a little bit in order for us to stay together.
So there's gonna not yet. We're gonna stay here.
Let's stay together.
Yeah, we're gonna
Let's
stay
together.
In any kind of weather.
But welcome to the show. I'm one of your hosts, and it's Mark B. Donica, joined as always by the rest of the NXT team. Hey, look, it's Robert Baines.
Hey, what's up? Yep.
Hasn't lost a step.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, hey guys, it's me.
Woo!
Welcome to this makeup tutorial with Bill Handstock.
Yeah, it's me.
You got a lot of rouge on today.
I'm just flushed and ready.
Oh my gosh. He's like a blushing bride.
I'm like a Little Caesar's pizza, hot and ready.
Hot and ready hand stock.
We haven't lost a step, guys.
No,
Not nearly.
And we appreciate everybody who has reached out to us on Twitter over the past couple of weeks. Is like, hey, what happened to the show?
Do you guys really get canceled?
At the same
Love
time,
it.
You joke about a thing long enough, and then you become the change you didn't want to see.
That I remembered. I remember the line I was going to say for the opening is like, "Hey, we're not canceled anymore, but for how long?
Yeah.
Time will tell until we're canceled again."
Who
but
knows?
we appreciate the well wishes and to those
Cancel Watch 2018.
for the best way to find out if we're going to be doing a show. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. And to the people that already follow us on Twitter and asked us, we talked about it.
You did it.
We
Yeah.
talked about it, and you still asked us if we were doing a show.
No, it's cool. Honestly, I like interaction.
Yeah, we need more of it.
No, it's
there are
not a
people that we
problem.
get in the chat that I didn't know we had following us on Twitter.
Yeah,
Talk to us, damn it.
we're here.
So,
Damn it.
Damn
it.
It's still real to us.
Damn it.
We've got some stuff to catch up on. What are you doing? Oh, my computer's just freaking out.
Well, let's just talk about this week.
No!
Oh,
Let's make a quick couple of rounds for some of the stuff that happened. We have new champions in Evolve. We have new Evolve champions. The heavyweight championship, which was won by Fabian Eichner, fantastic, and the new Evolve tag team champions, the Street Profits.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah! I was real sad that they didn't have the belts this week, but or last week. Flip. I caught up today, but. Hopefully, their next appearance, they should have them, right? Because
next week is TakeOver, so if they're not on the weekly show, they may be at the TakeOver taping, which they probably will be, and maybe they'll be defending their Evolve tag titles against like Forgotten Sons or something. I don't know. Maybe they'll wrestle the Maite. Maite.
that was another thing that was weird to me about that match was there an angle where the Mighty stole the stuff again?
No, they got it back.
Yeah. There was already.
No, they stole the stuff.
Yeah.
And then they had the match where they trapped Montez's leg in the thing, and the Street Profits lost that match, so they still had the stuff. And then
I thought they got it back.
No. You're not allowed to get the stuff that they illegally stole back unless you beat them in a sanctioned wrestling match.
That makes sense.
Those are the rules.
Yeah, wrestling rules.
Regal.
That's why the Undertaker was not allowed to use his nefarious magics to get his urn back, and that's why Kama Mustafa was able to melt it down into a chain that he smelted himself.
Yeah. And then they melted the chain back into an urn.
They melted the very small chain back into the shape of a complete golden urn.
Yeah.
Gold-plated urn.
Yeah. It retained all its magical properties. Thank goodness.
Oh yeah.
We'll touch and go there for a while.
I mean, I don't know how it got the magical properties or not. Could be an inscription. Because the chain wasn't magical.
Like runes of some sort?
Well, I'm not exactly sure how this fell magic is imbued in the properties of the metal, but far be it to me to assume it's some sort of alloy that will break its curse regardless of its symmetrical permutation.
Thanks, JR.
Yeah.
We also...
The Lord of Darkness, folks.
There are times...
He works in mysterious ways, doesn't he, JR?
There are times
he once crucified a man on live television.
There are times when the AfterBuzz TV wrestling groups are accused of being in the pocket of the WWE and accused of being paid by the WWE to tell various quote truths of various natures. God, I wish that's the case because Johnny Gargano attacked Aleister Black. Yeah. And that's what we had been saying ever since the thing came up.
I wouldn't mind having Velveteen Dream in my pocket.
Is that Velveteen Dream in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? We're happy to see each other.
I'm really happy to see Velveteen Dream.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
He's doing some work in there.
Ooh, Captain, my Captain.
Ooh.
so Johnny Gargano.
I now ship Velveteen Dream and Alicia Fox.
Oh yeah, a bunch of hat aficionados.
Yeah, they wear a lot of hats.
But Foxy's budget is a lot better than Dream's because he just grabbed
budget. You know, it gets better once you go up to the main roster.
There's gonna come a day when Velveteen Dream meets Dalton Castle, and I will explode.
Where though? Well,
what? I mean, he means what city? Or state.
No, here, just your corporeal form will explode. In his pants. But, so Johnny Gargano was revealed to be the person. Candace is mad about it. And
Candace is so mad she cut bangs and she's wearing dark lipstick.
Yeah, because Candace went bad too, but she doesn't want to talk about it.
She's just straight up the South Park goth girl. it's pretty great.
I'm... Really, we were getting away from Candace and Johnny having to have connecting storylines, and now we're back.
It's not going to change until they're out of NXT. The ship has sailed.
There's still a chance that it could have been Candace who attacked Aleister and Johnny's covering for his wife. Which, if that's true, I hope we get Candace in the rafters for a year, looking down with a baseball bat.
I mean, if we get Becky Lynch versus Seth Rollins, we better get Aleister Black versus Candice LeRae.
In a perfect world, yeah, that could happen, but
that would
probably it's not going to be the case.
Oh God, no.
But to me, I don't like how it happened. The change that we're talking about happened so quickly. You know, it was suddenly revealed, and it was just like, yeah, we're bad now.
But it didn't really like. He's been losing his mind for months, and we were complaining about. It's just like once he fully, because it's been a gradual thing, but then once he fully took the mask off, then he dropped the facade of like.
So was it a facade?
No, it actually, Bill, you bring up a very good point. It made more sense because when we talked about him going, no, I'm Johnny Wrestling again, and I want to be Johnny Wrestling again, and it being really flat, he was trying to keep the air of no, I'm the good guy, I'm the best guy, I'm all of these things. It's for all of you, it's for all of this. And now with the purview of I'm the person that attacked Aleister Black, that makes a little bit more sense in world as to why it wasn't as fired up as it was.
It also like he's been behaving so selfishly for so long on television, but still insisting that he's in the right. So like I think he was still like he had turned a long time ago, but he was trying to just sort of.
And I guess we were the only ones that saw it. Because we were screaming from the rafters, he's terrible! He's a horrible human being! And everyone else is looking at us like, what is your problem?
Well, the fans were getting sick of it, too. They were like...
Not the ones that bark at us for getting on his ass.
Johnny Failure. Well, like the full cell crowd. You know, like the live crowds. You know, they were getting tired of his antics. And he finally got to a point where he realized, like, okay, I'm clearly not fooling anyone. The jig is about to be up because Nikki Cross saw the things. Screw it. I'm a baddie. I'm a bad little boy.
Bad little boy.
We get a Gabbo shirt, or it's Johnny with his bad haircut. And
I'm a bad little boy. Oh God. It was. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Johnny when we get to the segment from tonight's show, but as we're moving forward, the NXT Women's Championship match at Evolution, where Shayna Baszler regained the NXT Women's Championship and is now the first two-time champion. Killer.
Spectacular.
I wish that there was more NXT. From the wording of Evolution and over 50 women from past, present, and future, and there were photos of the NXT locker room there, like Bianca, like Lacey. Hello, and I was like, oh, cool. There's NXT representation. It's like, nah, they're in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, they're
but like the
there.
The battle royal, like we got the WrestleMania battle royal. Like Kavita Devi was in that, and that's huge. And well, I mean, not just her being her.
She's large, and it's a big deal.
And she was in charge. But I was hoping that this, because there was an emphasis on the future and not just when it came to the Mae Young Classic Finals and NXT, that we would have... I mean, there was 6 women there. 26 is an uneven number, but you could fill the rest of that out. For goodness sakes.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
But thoughts on the NXT side of Evolution?
It's good to have representation, and like you said, perhaps there could have been more, but I think what was there was enough to really indicate that this is a brand that really emphasizes quality over quantity, and that's a standout in itself, truly.
Yeah, Evolution was great. I have no complaints.
That being the biggest event that WWE held that week. So, moving on, this past week, the Authors of Pain, former NXT Tag Team Champions, are now our new Raw Tag Team Champions.
And they're actually the first NXT Tag Team Champions to win main roster titles. Which is surprising, but it's true.
Weren't the Wyatt family NXT Tag Champions?
No, they weren't.
I could have sworn they were.
No,
They weren't.
they never got it.
Huh.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, all right.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is surprising.
Very surprising.
Yeah.
But then, like, you think of, like, American Alpha went up and we're broken up. Well, no, wait. American Alpha won. No, first. They're
Raw.
the first NXT Tag Team Champs to win the Raw Tag Team titles to share the lineage. Because the SmackDown Tag Team titles were just created was Slater and Rhino, and I believe American Alpha was either the second or third people to ever hold that.
American Alpha had those.
The Raw titles are the ones that have the lineage baked in.
Right. And it wasn't just a straight separation. And okay.
And to go from the old naming convention, the Raw Tag Team Champions were the World Tag Team Champions, and the SmackDowns were the WWE Tag Team Championships.
Right.
But yeah, great for AOP. Really excited for them. It's a shame that the Revival haven't had a similar chance, because
honestly, this would have been the opportunity for the Revival, but I think the Revival are going to go babyface here very
the Revival
soon.
has a great opportunity against Lucha House Party right now.
Well, I mean, the time for the Revival was when they won the right to get the match, and then it was taken by Ziggler and McIntyre.
Yeah.
Their road has been very complicated.
WWE keeps getting their hand forced by a lot of external factors.
Yeah. No, completely agree, because no question that they're probably the best tag team in WWE currently, and belts are a meaningless prop.
Sure. But everyone wants.
Absolutely.
I would say they're the best tag team on Raw, because I think the New Day is one of the best units and tag
Usos
any
as well.
permutation in the Usos, but any permutation of the New Day is remarkable.
Fair enough.
And I would love to see that fight.
I think it's not impossible for the Revival to get a shot at AOP, either one-on-one or in a multi-team, like maybe Gable and Rude and the Revival and AOP or something. But
B Team's still around.
We're getting AOP versus the Bar at Survivor Series, which is very exciting. It's
gonna
should be a real beefy
That's going to be a
fest.
slugfest.
But as I was saying, I don't think it's impossible for the Revival to challenge for those titles. And as we've seen, the Revival have made magic with AOP before in the past, in multi-team matches, but still, like, those teams are not strangers to one another.
And I think it would be the opportunity for the Revival to actually be cheered by the crowd, and it wouldn't be simply because they're the best. It would be because in their opposition is a hated opposition, and people truly want to see them win against the Authors of Pain.
And with those two teams knowing each other as well as they do, and the ability of the two teams, I think that a tag title match between them on a big show would really like wake up the casual viewers to like, oh, there's something special about both of these teams, because AOP has really only been in squash matches on the main roster so far, and
now they've got Maverick as the brains of the operation, so to speak. So it helps that they've got somebody there to be the voice of the team and help get people invested one way or another, because you need to have a mouthpiece. Both those guys are not necessarily good talkers, or they're not known to be good talkers, so you have to have a mouthpiece in there. It's just how this works.
Especially for AOP.
Is Drake still the commissioner of 205 Live?
Yes, he is. So he's got two enormous bodyguards at his disposal anytime he wants them.
Gulak was cheering Drake on after the win. It's like, hey, good for you, GM. Happy for you and your boys.
What a sycophant.
We also found out today on 205 Live that it's going to be Murphy and Ali at Survivor Series.
Oh, hell
That'll be nuts.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
That's gonna rule.
Yep. One of the few actual
one
of the few actual title matches that's going to be on that show.
Yeah.
What else? Oh,
You mean he's not? You mean Murphy's not going to defend against the top cruiserweight from? Well, I mean Rey Mysterio. That would.
Oh, dude, but
Okay.
if Rey Mysterio wasn't on the SmackDown team,
don't want to. I don't think they would want to lower in quotes Rey Mysterio standing by putting him in a 205 angle.
Can't lower Rey Mysterio.
That's a thing that's happening right now.
Yeah,
it's like then
be shorter than Zelina. I was sad that she wasn't on the show last night to get them to stare down and be oh wow, two titans. Yeah, amazing.
Titanes del Ring.
Hey, so speaking of last night on SmackDown, Nikki Cross debuted on SmackDown with Sanity. And Sanity is complete, even though Sanity hasn't really done anything since they debuted. We've got some killer promos from them, as we do here, but SmackDown's so chock full of stuff that they haven't really had a chance. And I hope now that Nikki's here, they will be the complete package and they will rule the roost.
I think now that Nikki is here, and now that Usos, New Day, Bar are really the only three tag teams over there at the moment, I think that they need a shot of energy in the tag team division, and I think that Sanity at full strength is probably a good way to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with how Nikki used to interact with their other opponents and how much of a unit they were.
And now that Zelina has trained crowds to know that female managers can get involved in men's matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nikki is by no means a manager, but it's that same position.
Right.
She's such a utility,
but it was
she can
sort of
throw off any sort of tag situation.
In NXT, it was Nikki that taught that audience that women could get involved in anything in that position, and then when Zelina came in as Almas's manager, and now it's sort of a vice versa situation with SmackDown. But what a landscape changer Nikki Cross is. Just by putting Nikki Cross on SmackDown, the tag team division gets better, the women's division gets better, and just the show as a whole is huge. And what a place to do it too. Like they did it in the UK. What a wonderful opportunity for Sanity. I'm really sad that I burped in the middle of that. So I believe that catches us up with everything that we missed. Apart from talking about the shows bit by bit, was there anything for the past 2 weeks that stood out? We're going to talk about the card in a little bit, but I want to talk about tonight's show too.
It's been really good. Like the backstage brawl with Undisputed Era and the other War Games participants was really fun. The Aleister Black stuff was amazing. But it's been a few amazing weeks. It's been an unbelievable run of NXT since before the last takeover. It's just been lights out, incredible matches all the time.
Guerrilla Radio.
Yeah.
And so many new faces. I mean, we've seen Mia Yim now, and
we didn't talk about Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle debuted last week. Yeah,
just last week.
Keith Lee killed Conor Reeves, and
that we talked about.
Conor Reeves hasn't been seen since.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
That's it. That's pretty much it. All right, let's talk about this week's show. Actually, before we do, I want to let you know that our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There is no network that works harder to serve television fans, but we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channels, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. If you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be. They're optional. So hit that subscribe button right now for this channel, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. You definitely want to subscribe here to AfterBuzz TV and Wrestling and Sports. We've got Raw. We've got Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. We had Melissa Santos on today. Lucha Underground's wrapping up the last couple of episodes of Ultima Lucha tonight and next week. Make sure to check those out. Or no, just tonight. Tonight's the finale of Ultima Lucha. So tonight is the last show of Lucha Underground for the foreseeable future, because we don't know if they got renewed or not. But also
That's
Raw.
not what I heard.
Oh no? There's been a lot of scuttlebutt that season 5 may not be happening.
When I was working on WoW, I was working with the crew of Lucha Underground, and they kind of gave me some insight. So
Can we get that AfterBuzz TV exclusive thing? That's fine. Anyway,
wait. So they're the crew is suggesting that there's maybe going to be another season.
yeah.
Oh.
great.
Yeah.
That's more than anybody else has ever heard. Because it was like,
Thanks to loose-lipped crew for not signing NDAs.
That's always what it ends up being.
It's weird.
No.
Yeah. I don't. It was weird to me that I just heard that it was still up in the air. Because nothing has been announced. When I was speaking with them, they were like, yeah.
Sharkosaur, I fell off Lucha Underground hard this season. Me too. You can go back and watch the couple of episodes of the after show I did. Figure out if I actually watched the show or not. It's great. Anyway.
That's a tell.
Or no, guess which episodes I did watch versus ones that I didn't. Anyway, let us know you did in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. Thanks for helping us be the ESPN of TV Talk. We really appreciate it. Talking about this week's show, we got started off with our beefiest boys.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy Machinery and the Forgotten Son with Rax and Jackson. Rax Saxon?
Yeah.
Should they just rename themselves the Proud Boys?
Oh.
Well, here's the argument in favor of it. WWE trademarks the term Proud Boys.
And then takes it away?
Yeah.
It's kind of brilliant.
Yeah. So WWE, because there's no effing way the actual Proud Boys have thought to trademark the term. So WWE trademarks the term.
Their leader, in quotes, sort of positions himself as a very intelligent gentleman. I'm curious to see if they actually have.
Most intelligent gentlemen don't lead gangs of Nazis. But
fair.
So WWE trademarks the term, then sues Gavin McInnes with a cease and desist.
That'd be,
don't.
And then
do that.
Gavin McInnes fights Nigel McGuinness for use of the term.
And then Gavin McInnes trademarks the term Jervis Cottonbelly.
Oh no!
You'll have to fight Quackenbush for that one.
Yeah.
Quackenbush owns that one.
Well, I don't know, got $50?
Dagam Q says, why don't you rename them the Not Eric Youngs?
None of us are Eric Young.
Fair, looks good.
Yeah, truth in advertising.
That beard though. So this match ruled. This entire episode was really awesome and
chock full of hard hitting action.
Oh, a bunch of hard hitting men. So one of my favorite things that the Forgotten Sons did, I'm not going to call them Proud Boys, though that's a
the Proud Sons.
Yeah, the Proud Son. No.
Fortunate Sons.
Some folks are born silver spoon in hand, not these ones. But they kept them on. They kept I should say the Fortunate Sons kept. Nope, the Forgotten Sons kept Heavy Machinery.
It ain't me.
On the ground, and didn't allow them to get any sort of momentum. They just they kept him down.
They took really good advantage of some opportunities that presented themselves that were able to present a change in the momentum of the match. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if they let the Heavy Machinery have any space at all, those guys were able to put up a fight no matter what because of their sheer size. If they were allowed space, they could easily just start to swat them away, and we saw that from both Tucker Knight and Otis Dozovich.
Got it.
Thank you. They were able to really put up a hell of a fight against both these guys, and Braxton Jackson really did not become a factor in this match at all, and it I'm sort of asking myself why. Why wouldn't he just step in, especially against two guys who are that big?
I think even the 3-on-2 advantage, there's no weight advantage there. I think heavy machinery, if they lose weight to those three guys, it's less than 100 pounds.
Oh, hard to say, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Braxton Jackson's the biggest guy.
He's big and beefy. Blake, well, he used to be a little bit skinnier, and Cutler used to be a little bit skinnier, but they've beefed up too. So maybe not as much as they used to.
Yeah.
But there's not that much of an advantage, and Jackson not being a factor at all.
It's a distraction advantage at best, and honestly, that is the best kind of advantage. If you can simply throw off your opponent's game enough to get them to take a misstep or a miscue that allows you to get an opening to put your opponent on their back, that is the best way to utilize a third party in a tag match. But like we said, Jackson Braxton, not a factor. And ultimately it led to the demise of the Forgotten Sons.
But we got to see Dozovic break out a singles finisher that we've been wanting to see of his.
It's a good one.
It's very good.
Yeah.
A tossing world's strongest slam.
Pop-up world's strongest slam.
Better term.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It was very effective. And this match went on way longer than we expected it. It was
at
very
least 10 minutes. It was over 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, this was, I don't know, this was an indie-styled match with 5 guys who are not of an independent build, let's say. Yeah.
No flippy stuff.
No, my God.
Yeah.
We got a worm.
That's close, the closest thing to flippy stuff we've got.
Another thing that happened since last time we were together was the NXT house show Halloween costume battle royal.
Of course.
And our beef boy dressed up as his wife.
Yes.
Like, I saw the picture and I was like, oh, he just did that. I was like, oh no, there was a purpose.
Yeah, you thought he just randomly dressed as Mandy Rose.
I want to feel pretty.
Wouldn't put it past him.
No, me either.
And EC3 and Drake were Batman and Robin, which was amazing. Like, everything was just very good. One of the new guys was Popeye.
Yeah.
Do you remember who?
Babatunde?
Oh, Baba
No,
was?
Baba was a minion.
Oh,
right. Baba was a minion.
World's biggest minion.
Benoni, was it one of the Brazilians?
I think it was like a new guy.
New guy?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was the Saudi guy. Like they signed one of the guys that they signed. Yeah, I forgot his name. Yeah, and KO was a T-Rex, which was amazing.
That's pretty great.
So we talked about Eichner and Street Profits becoming champions, but there was an official announcement that Evolve is going to look different going forward. And that they're going to be featuring talents, and those talents will be featured on the WWN live programs, so they will no longer be blacked out from when NXT people. So basically, it was a kayfabe announcement, but basically the gist of the announcement is Evolve is going to serve as a sort of NXT developmental, where there will be NXT people appearing regularly on Evolve programming. And in the early days, like when even recently, when Dream was on 2 shows, those Dream matches did not appear on Evolve programming or on the Fight TV stuff.
They were dark?
Yeah, going back to when Sami Zayn went to Evolve shows and when American Alpha went to Evolve shows, like there were Ono and Cruz did some WWE events a while back, but those events were only for the live audience. Now, especially with these title changes, as you can imagine, they'll be featured. And Ono is going to be doing a double shot on Evolve. He's going to be wrestling Shane Strickland, and he's going to be wrestling Eichner for the Evolve title.
Wow! And
so Eichner is going to be on the cards going forward. The Street Profits for the foreseeable future. There are also, I apologize, but I cannot remember. There are also going to be a couple of the women from NXT or the Performance Center who are going to be appearing on the next Evolve card.
Okay, very cool.
Okay,
that's
good.
So it's very much a partnership now. I mean, it always was. But now it's going to be like visibly, here are NXT and Performance Center people who are on Evolve cards, and everyone can see their matches.
They've had an issue for a while, at least NXT has, with having a development territory that was not NXT television, and thus allowing their talent to get television time without it interfering with the NXT program,
or at least
as it stands. But the way this serves right now, is it helping evolve more, or is it helping NXT talent develop more?
I think it's definitely both. I think that
I think it's pretty mutual.
I think that because there's no one. I don't think there are people who go to Evolve shows or know about Evolve who don't also know about NXT and probably watch NXT pretty regularly. And I think people knowing like, oh, Velveteen Dream is going to be on the show, Cassius Ohno is going to be on the show, like they're more likely to go to an Evolve event.
So that helps updraft Evolve.
Right.
But does this help
Absolutely.
NXT?
But it's the mix of the Velveteen Dreams, but then like the Vanessa Bournes, whose only chance to be on TV is getting squashed.
Also,
or something like that.
Also, someone like Fabian Eichner,
Yeah.
who we know his ability. He's incredible,
amazing.
but there's absolutely no room for him on NXT right now. So having him as the focal point of Evolve and allowing him to put on like showcase matches and long matches on the regular with some sizable exposure, I think that's great for people like Eichner, people like Street Profits. Like Street Profits,
like Ike.
Street Profits get a lot of TV time.
Yeah.
But they're not in the mix for the tag team titles, and they're not going to be for the foreseeable future. You got War Raiders in there, you got Undisputed.
It's crowded, real crowded.
Forgotten Sons, like the Mighty. There's so letting the Street Profits do the same thing is great, and I think that this is also a good opportunity for so many of the performance center people who are like doing the house show circuit, but they're not ready to go on TV. They get their reps in and Evolve. They get some exposure with Evolve. They get to practice working for a camera. They get to practice all this stuff working in front of indie crowds.
Well, because even the live Florida circuit as opposed to the traveling NXT circuit are two completely different types of shows.
And Evolve travels as well.
Yes, it does.
And I think that it's just a good relation. And Evolve, I think Evolve is a great promotion to do this with, because Evolve has a very big roster as it is. Not everyone's on every show. They rotate people in and out a lot. Like people like Jarek, who works out here, he works out there sometimes, occasionally.
I don't think that's going to be happening in the future.
So, but people like that. There's a lot of people who, like, there's people who are mainstays like Jocka and Dickinson and Shane Strickland. But even Strickland has signed a contract with MLW, and now he's on Evolve shows. So, like, Evolve is going through transitions with so many other promotions coming out. MLW is really gaining steam. There's a lot of other promotions that are doing well right now. Perhaps more promotions on the horizon.
Evolve is a great name for that company.
Right. But and another aspect of this that people aren't really talking about a lot, but is something to keep in mind, is WWE is very much starting to gear up for the next tier of pricing on WWE Network. They just purchased the WWC tape library.
Yes, I saw that. That's
massive.
Great.
Some of it has been damaged by the hurricane, but they were aware of that when they made the purchase. Okay. So
Puerto Rico.
I know.
They're not aware of the extent of what's been damaged or how much, but I mean, like, it's a huge library.
But they might be able to also fix that.
Yeah, for sure.
Some sort of digital restoration.
The right people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they've bought WWC. They bought HWA a while ago, and they haven't really put that out very much. But there's so much that they already own that they haven't even put on the network yet. They have those existing deals in place that they haven't come to fruition yet with ICW, with OTT, with Progress, with RevPro.
True.
So all of those are waiting. Now we've got NXT UK up, so it makes more sense to put those on the network now. So there is probably a chance that Evolve/WWN Live could be part of that next pricing tier. Because WWN Live is one of the few out there that's like sort of its own thing. It's not part of High Spots. It's not part of Powerbomb. It's not part of Smart Mark. It's its own thing.
And it has been for a long time.
So I think that that's probably a good move for Evolve to like get their library onto WWE Network.
And I'll say this, it's definitely progress. Anyway, they're also having the German tryouts. They had the German tryouts this past week too.
One of the guys I worked with at the dojo was on that.
That's great.
Yeah.
And another thing that happened, WWE is also partnering with WXW.
Yeah.
And what's his name is going to go back to WXW for the first time since he signed.
The
guy. Yeah,
the guy. Yes, totally forgot. Man,
one of the founding members of Ring Conf,
No, I remember. Yeah, we saw him a about a month
He's
or
good.
so
He's
ago.
really good.
We
don't know his name.
It was him and Keith Lee, and that was an amazing match.
Yes.
Man-Bill.
Man-Bill?
Man-Bill.
Well, it's a Man-Bill.
Well, what I'm going to say, Bill, is, unfortunately, we do have some unlimited time here at the NXT show. But hopefully sometime in the future we'll be able to have a little bit more time to talk about things like that, maybe branch off, talk about
Another thing that happened since the last time we were together, the debut of Talking Snack.
Oh, Talking Snack with Kathy Kelly.
Pun-based cooking show with Kathy Kelly where she interviews wrestlers.
She's super stoked
We
about
should have
it.
seen this
As
coming.
well she should.
Yeah.
It's the perfect vehicle. I can't believe it took this long.
It's going to be something really special.
Watch that.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is I in the
Well,
future.
nothing else happened on the show. It's fine.
No, well, I'm trying to tell the audience, like, hey, if there was ever an opportunity for us to talk more about this sort of branching stuff and not just NXT and take a little bit more extra time, we hope that you would follow us along for that. Moving on, let's talk about Candice LeRae coming up and being questioned by Jeremy Borash. That was quick.
Yeah.
But
Was that
ultimately,
Borash?
it was Borash. Ultimately, she didn't come there to be exploited and would like to keep everything between her and Johnny private. Anyway, moving on.
And then she went.
But she had one of those like extend. What are those called? The
Cigarette holder?
Yes. I didn't know it was that
Like
uncultured.
the penguin?
I was gonna say like Cruella DeVille, but
Or
yes.
Cruella DeVille.
Speaking of Kathy Kelly, she's in the back. A wonderful, weirdly lit couch interview with Shayna Baszler, with Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. And hey, Kairi Sane is invoking her rematch clause, but Regal decides to make it a 2 out of 3 falls match, which rules.
Let's do it.
Please,
rules.
let's go.
And this will probably be the end of this feud because it'll be decisive. One match,
We're going to get
2
the
falls.
best of 7 series out of the way in
In one
5
more match.
matches.
Then we had Dakota Kai versus Tanara Conti. Excuse me, Conchi. This was interesting. There was a lot of hard hitting from Tanara because it seems like she
It's hard.
She's transitioning from the martial arts into wrestling still, and a lot of those hits looked really like that kick looked like it hurt right in the face.
It's very. I have a hard time looking at her style because it does not marry so much her background in martial arts with professional wrestling. You can compare a lot of people now to doing that. Conti is not one of them. For some reason, it seems like she cannot seem to get the two ideas to collaborate with one another. She'll either do a martial arts styled move or it'll just be, cheap kicks and punches.
Yeah.
There does not seem to be a meshing of these two independent ideas where you have so many others now that are transitioning from mixed martial arts into professional wrestling and are able to connect the two. She just doesn't seem like one of those people. And as a result, she just ends up looking like she's not ready.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of the case in this match, unfortunately.
She should work with Aleister Black.
She should.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Or any of
just
the
like sit
four
under his learning
horsewomen.
tree.
No, yeah.
He talked to myself and X-Pac back in the day about how much time and effort he spent on making sure that his MMA strikes, because he's got an MMA background, making sure that they looked devastating, but were theatrical enough to work in professional wrestling, and it has to be a mix, because we've talked about this before. It's like a real punch looks terrible, and like Shane McMahon's punches are like the worst looking punches in the world, but he's really walloping the piss out of those people.
Everybody should head over to youtube.com/xpac and check out that interview. That's where all of the new live shows go, but we've taken all of the interviews and just uploaded the interviews.
Nice. You have a library.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Dakota Kai gets the win with her front flip
backstabber.
Is it back?
Yeah.
Could it be considered
Yeah.
a
Lung blower.
backstabber? Lung blower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
A little bit
Yeah,
more.
same thing.
This is the exact same thing.
Fair. In the back, Kathy is with Mia, who's talking about living her dream, being in the Performance Center. And oh boy, am I happy I called it. Bianca Belair reminding everybody that she's been here for years and that she is undefeated. Well, there she did the the
gum chewing.
Yeah, the gum thing, and still hasn't received her title shot. Mia was like, "All right, come on, why don't we fight?" Bianca, rightfully so, is like, "Nah, idiot."
Mia referred to himself as the HBIC, then disappointingly spelled it out and made clear that she was saying head baddie in charge.
The head biddy in charge.
I was upset about
Biddy.
until I remembered that she calls herself the Blasian baddie, which is amazing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
This matchup could be good.
Yep.
We'll see it next week.
Gonna see it next week, and I really hope that, even though I love Mia and all of the work that she's done with WWE so far and all of the stuff that she's done before, but I hope that this isn't where Bianca loses her streak.
No,
Like-
I can't imagine.
No, that would be
I can't imagine it either,
weak
but
sauce.
yeah.
I think we might get Mia taking it. Wait a second. There was no ending to that Nikki Cross versus Bianca Belair match.
No, there
'cause
should be one more.
Aleister Black replaced the essence
Right.
of Bianca Belair.
So that's a no contest.
Yeah, no, they were both no contests.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Well, anyway. Anyway.
Or double count out versus no
we
contest.
might see another rematch.
Sure. But what I'm saying is, like, I think that Mia Yim is going to take Bianca Belair to her limit. I think this is probably a candidate for the taping before Takeover.
Yeah.
This match,
Yeah,
which
most likely.
would rule. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to see it live at the Staples Center, right here.
Los Angeles, California.
That's where we are. We get a recap of Matt Riddle's debut. He's walking in the back with Keith Lee, and he's wearing. See, it looks like his progress jacket,
Yeah.
but he's got 4 8-bit Mario pins, which I presume he just had in his bag, to
I also
cover
like
it up.
that he's covering up a. I also like that he's okay. 1, he's not getting new clothes. 2,
He doesn't even have shoes.
2, he's choosing to obscure his wrestling promotion, which isn't necessarily a competitor, because
Nope.
WWE people work there, with trademarked
Nintendo
things.
stuff.
Like trademarked images that are very clearly recognizable. Like, you better cover that up. Okay.
The producer's like, "What's that?
I'll
It's just some art."
I'll cover it up with a lawsuit.
And now that we've brought it up, sorry for the incurring lawsuit. Though Nintendo, hopefully Nintendo are wrestling fans. Then
Yeah.
we get Mario wrestling.
Yeah, Nintendo's,
yeah.
Nintendo's definitely watching our show right now. And when we said that, they said, "Here we go."
I meet a lot of people
Well-
backstage at New Japan.
Well, did
Just
anybody
saying.
there? It's way too long to talk about, but Nintendo was developing a wrestling game with the Mario characters as a part of the sports collection that it did.
Wasn't that
really?
Smash Brothers?
No, but it was going to be like wrestling.
It would be Nintendo wrestling. but
Essentially.
again.
Mario, it's
I'm
like
into it.
Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, but it was going to be Mario something.
Slammers.
Something like that. Like there's stuff online. They were gonna,
That's
yeah,
dorky.
check it out. It was good,
really
but then
dorky.
they were like, all right, maybe this is, even though we have Smash Brothers, that's presented as their toys, but where this is like, no, they're actually hurting
They're
each other.
fighting.
And, yeah, this is. We'll just never mind.
Well, all you have to do for the wrestling show is put them on those Karate Fighters stands.
Yeah, where they just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was great. We got a recap that we're getting 4-on-4 for War Games. I guess I'm a sound effect guy today. And then, oh god, we got a promo from Johnny Gargano.
No, we can skip that. We only have a few minutes left.
That's true.
We talked about Gargano a lot too. We just didn't like this promo very much.
Yeah. Hey, I still love everybody, but sometimes you gotta break the rules. I thought he
Go
was.
back to
I thought he was
junior
at his
high.
house, like the way that I thought it was.
No, he was. I could tell where he was.
Well, yeah. Well, you've been there. Jeez.
But does he live under a bridge? He's on a bridge.
Now he does for character work. He's like, I'm gonna be a troll.
I'm a troll
No,
now.
the troll is Lawrence Sontag forever and ever. But we find out that we get Blair and Yim next week, and then Mr. Regal announced that we're going to be getting a singles match between one of the competitors from each team to determine who gets the advantage during the War Games match. All right, this main event. This main event flippin' ruled between these two. It
was great.
I want to see it again.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great, as you would expect. As you expect from the two men of this ability that we love so much. It was wonderful. Unfortunately, it seems like the finish of the match is setting up a triple threat for the world title, for the NXT title, between Sullivan, Dream, and Ciampa, when I was extremely looking forward to a singles match between Dream and Ciampa. But the fact that Sullivan was completely absent after winning the match, and there was an extended post-match thing happening with a pull-apart between Dream and Ciampa, maybe it's not going the triple threat route. Maybe they're just setting up the first challenger to whoever wins the singles match. I really hope it stays a singles match.
Me too.
There's a huge argument to be made that it's going to be a triple threat now. But the fact that Sullivan wasn't involved at all, he pinned him and then he left, and then there was a huge thing with multiple referees running in to break up Dream and Ciampa. There was a bunch of interaction with the belt. Dream got the last word by laying out Ciampa.
Lars is an intellectual, so he could have rolled right out, walked right into the back, knocked on Mr. Regal's door, and said, "Hey, I've been your #1 contender. Put me in the match." And that's something that we might see as a after the show WWE.com exclusive.
If we see a rematch between these two, it wouldn't surprise me. Just to sort of bury the hatchet and place Dream or Sullivan in a position to where they could really argue that either one of them deserves to be in the match if it is indeed going to be a singles match. Or if it's a three-way, it looks so much like a three-way.
But when you say, like, the traditional build for this would be, you know, Ciampa causes the distraction that leads to Sullivan getting the pin. But when you say that the traditional build to a three-way is Sullivan stands over Dream or beats him down more and screams while Ciampa looks on scared from the ramp, as opposed to what we actually saw happen.
Lars just walked right by him. Yeah.
So if we do have a rematch and then Dream can finally get the W, this is probably perfect three-way booking.
This had the guts of a three-way setup, but the execution was.
But then the next time Dream and Sullivan meet, Dream gets the W, but then Ciampa comes in and tries to work over Sullivan. Sullivan then takes out Ciampa and maybe Dream. That would solidify a three-way.
We got one more week.
Yeah,
and
see what happens.
This match just ruled.
But it seems like if they were going to rematch these two next week, they would announce it before next week.
Yeah. But it wasn't...
Agreed.
But that's, it wasn't... The only weird thing was that Ciampa came out. You know? It wasn't... He didn't, hold Lars's legs on the ropes or distract, the ref too much or anything. This was clean. This was Lars hit the freak accident. That was that. But Dream decided to attack him.
Sure.
So
right, in a preemptive sort of strike, which again allowed Lars enough time to recover, so that when Dream slid in, Lars was able to grab him really fast and hit that freak accident so hard, Dream's head bounced off the mat.
Yeah, but that wasn't Tommaso Ciampa holding a chair under his head or making sure his head slammed down.
It was enough.
But what I'm saying is it was still relatively clean.
Right.
It wasn't. It was an indirect.
And that's the one other thing that points to this remaining a singles match as opposed to a triple threat is that the animosity between Dream and Ciampa is so severe at this point that Dream has his eyes on the prize, and Ciampa comes in, and Dream already hates Ciampa so much that he chooses to take his eye off the ball to attack Ciampa, who's not involved in the match. Who knows what he was going to do.
But are we forced to then ignore the fact that Lars just picked up a victory against the arguable #1 contender?
For Lars, it's about the championship. It's not about Tommaso Ciampa.
Right.
Absolutely.
The story between those two is much bigger. Lars being put into this match, while that match is interesting, right now letting these two blow off is, I think, more interesting.
And the story has been about Ciampa and Dream. The story with Sullivan has been involved with a lot of other people, and just his increased anger about not getting a title shot
for any title.
Since Lars is an intellectual, I think that it behooves him a lot more to stay his case of, I be the #1 contender who is going to get a title match. I'm the first in line for whoever wins that match.
Yeah.
Not put me into that match.
All right.
Because I have the opportunity to lose that match without being pinned.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're super excited that TakeOver is going to be here in our home turf. We're looking to all be there one way, shape, form, some way. We're looking at it. And we're also looking next week at possibly having a guest, a part-time member of the NXT team coming into town to join us on the show.
That'd be great.
I'm really looking for. I'm really looking up to it.
And if you happen to see any of us over Survivor Series weekend, please don't hesitate to say
please.
Hello.
But until next week, we're going to be running down the card and sort of the last preview before NXT TakeOver Los Angeles. Bill, where can the folks find you? What are you working on? Tell them about your stuff!
You can find me on all social media at Sundown Motel, and very pleased to announce here that I have my first comic book writing gigs, and they're in the official WWE comic book that is going to be out on Boom Comics. My first backup story, they're just backup stories for now. My first backup story will appear in issue number 23, which will be shipping after December 5th. So if you want to pre-order that, you can pre-order it on Boom Studios website. The WWE comic is very cool. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it quite a bit ever since it came out. There's the ongoing series, which their 4th trade paperback is going to be coming out in either November or December. So if you want to catch up on that, feel free. You don't have to catch up on it to enjoy my backup story, which involves some NXT people. So please enjoy that, and I will have other backup stories coming up soon that I will let you all know about. But I'm very excited about it. Being able to write a comic book is sort of a bucket list thing for me. So being able to like write in a legitimate comic book, even though it's not a big thing at the moment, I'm very proud of it.
It's big, Bill.
Very excited about it, and I'm excited for you all to read it and let me know what you think.
Thank you, Bill. I'm so happy for you. It's so great.
Super cool,
Mr.
man.
Baines.
Follow me on the social media at Baines Destroy. This weekend in Anaheim is the Chara Expo, which New Japan Pro Wrestling will have featured matches as a part of that show. All you have to do is simply buy a ticket to the expo, and you get to watch the matches for free, which is super frickin' boss. Also, I debuted at Hood Slam last weekend, and next weekend I'll be back up in Oakland, so watch out for that.
And I'm the Internet's Mark Budonica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Budonica. You can follow everybody here at the network at AfterBuzz TV. If you want to talk to us, please follow us on Twitter. Use the hashtag NXTeam. That'll make it even easier. Support us and any sort of stuff that we're doing. If you go to tpublic.com/NXteam, we have some tasteful merchandise, which you can get at a reasonable price, and we're going to be adding...
We'll have distasteful merchandise.
Soon we'll have distasteful merchandise.
my favorite kind.
Cusses on them.
By supporting us there, it allows us to do a little bit more, and we want to do a little bit more. So make sure to keep supporting us. Make sure to keep supporting the show and supporting AfterBuzz TV Wrestling and Sports. But until next week, we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Ruined it.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.